I'm coming to you from the NIV. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go right through the scriptures. Ephesians 2:1, and it reads, "As for you, you were dead in your transgressions and sin, in which you used to live and follow the ways of the world, in the kingdom of the air, the spirit who is at work, who has worked with those who are disobedient. All of us also live amongst them at one time." Come on, say at one time. Come on, I don't care how saved, how much you think you was in the church, at one time. Come on, don't ever forget, at one time you still was disobedient. The Bible says, come on, it's saying we were all disobedient at one time. We all lived amongst them. We all had a craving for our sinful nature. We all followed the desires and thoughts like the rest. We were by our nature, we were objects of our wrath. Say objects of our wrath. Come on, what do wrath do? Wrath destroys. Come on, we had a destructive nature, even to ourselves, to others, and to anything that we touch. Okay? But the fourth verse says, but. Say but. Come on, I love that word but. When I go into the Bible and I read the word but, what it does, it cancels out everything that came before it. Say but. But God. Say, but God. Oh, come on. When you was out there crazy, acting crazy as can be, you was out there doing your thing. You was out there and you didn't know nothing that was good. Everything that you did, the worse it was, the better you felt about doing it. How many of you don't raise your hand. You know back in the day, the worse that it was, the better you felt about doing it. And I tell people, don't ever get up here, and I love when y'all get up here, y'all get in church, and y'all get all nice and everything. You know, I thank God for taking me from my shameful, sinful ways. You wasn't ashamed the moment you was doing that stuff. You did it boldly in public where everybody could see you. You ain't care about the next person, but you realize that God brought you, come on, through it all. Say through it all. Come on, because some of y'all shouldn't be at the place you are at right now. I'm telling you, some of y'all made it through the 80s. How many of you remember the 80s? Your crazy self during the 80s. Your crazy self at this time, you shouldn't be sitting here right now. At this time, because of all of your craziness, you should have been dead from AIDS. You should have been cracked out. You should have been out of your mind. You know that you should not be here right now. Say, but God. But God. But God saw you through all this. You had an appetite for destruction. And the more destructive it was, the more you liked the taste of it. God brought you through. There was not a party that you did not want to miss. I said I was going to be good. I said I was going to be good. It wasn't a party you didn't want to miss. It wasn't a partner that you didn't want to miss. Say, but God. You know what I'm talking about. We had this thing going on, and I love this testimony because you know what? Everybody can't be so transparent and talk about their life like that. Everybody can't tell where they're at. But you know what? Many of you sitting there, come on, y'all know you've been through some of the same things. Even you that are married, you went through some stuff in your relationship. Come on, that should have taken you out of covenant. Say, but God. Oh, how many of you thank the Lord for covering you? Oh, come on, that everybody didn't get to see your mess. That everybody, come on, how many of you thank God when you were wronger than wrong, God covered you? And didn't allow the people to see you as you saw yourself. Because you know what? When you woke up in the morning and you looked at that mirror, you knew it wasn't right. Oh, come on, say, but God. But God, because of his great love for us, because of God, his great love for us, God who is rich, say rich. In mercy. Say rich in mercy. See, we got to understand, this is the God that we know. It's a God that is rich in mercy. Come on, he has mercies upon you, because you know what? In the midst of all your stuff, God could have said, all right, let's close it up. Let's close the book right now. Let's shut it down. And wherever you lay, that's where you're going to be. But God gave you another chance that you find yourself today. Some of you probably say, you know what? It's been a while. It's been a moment since I've been in church. It's been some time right now. But you were called here for a reason, for a purpose, because God says, I needed to meet you at this place. I needed to meet you at this time, because you know what? There's some things that me and you need to work out. Say, but God. Oh, yes, yes, yes. God loved you so much that he says, you know what? I gave you another opportunity. You know that car accident that you went through that should have taken you out. It should have killed you. And I allowed and dispatched an angel before you that kept you alive in the midst of that wreck. Oh, it's nothing but God. You know, when you were at that place and they shot it up and you got out, or you didn't go that night and you wasn't in the midst of the mess, nothing but God. It was God that said, you know what? I'm not hooking you up with that crazy individual that you heard that your girlfriend or that one of your dudes she went in and stabbed this other guy and killed him and said, hey, my man used to date her. You know what? That was nothing but God. All of us have been through some crazy things, some crazy situations in our life, and the Lord has allowed us to come through. And it's not because you have been so good, not that you have been so perfect, but God says that you know what? It is not your time. I got better for you. There's other things that I want for your life. This is not what I intended for you. I'm ready to make everything anew. But God says, you know what? I'm giving you this opportunity for another chance, because I don't want to hear the God of a second chance, because some of y'all know you're going to have multiples. Come on, how many of you know I've had multiple chances? You know what? Want me to tell you something? Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've blown it so many times. I was raised in the church. Matter of fact, I tell people, they ask me, I'm fifth generation Kojic, and so I know better. And so when I was going to hell, I was taking the express route. It wasn't because I didn't know better. I chose not to